This is a WKYT podcast.
Hey, everybody, it is the Kentucky Weather Podcast. I am Chris. That is Jim. As
Hello.
always, say hi, Jim.
Hello.
You got the deep thing going on
Well, I
today.
was trying that to see if
Is it
would
because
work.
it's so cold?
You got to find something to keep you warm, and mine's deep.
Is it your deep
It's
voice?
my deep. I don't know. It's something like that.
You know what? That's TMI. I don't
Well-
know. That your deep voice is what keeps people warm?
No, what keeps me
Oh,
warm?
yeah.
I was just reaching for something there. I didn't know where I was going with that, but
Me either. So we're going to move it along.
Well, yes. What are we going to talk
Hey,
about?
we're going to talk about snow. Snow and cold.
You mean the first snow that you talked about a while back?
We
here?
did.
Yeah.
Was that the first podcast we did?
You know, Robert
Second.
says it was, but
I think it was second or
I
third,
think it was
right?
second or third.
Yeah. 'Cause
But
we talked about, you asked when I thought we'd get the first snow on the ground. And
you
I said
said-
before Thanksgiving.
that's what you said before. And if you can go back and listen to those, you know.
Sometimes it works out.
Boy,
Sometimes
does
it
it ever.
doesn't.
I mean, because I remember thinking, I was like, well, he said that, and that's a short window.
Yeah.
That's why I know it wasn't the first one, because, we did the first one a while back.
Yeah.
So it had been one of the
and your
ones.
first snowfall generally occurs in December.
Right.
So we're ahead of the game.
At least an inch,
Yeah.
what is it, December 20th or 10th?
Right
I
at-
can't remember right
yeah,
off the top of my
right at.
head.
And I measured 2.1 officially. So about 1.3 of that came yesterday on Veterans Day on Monday.
I think that's generally what a lot of
Yeah.
people had. But, our forecast was coating to 2 inches,
Mm-hmm.
and I think most fell within that, with the exception, like you said, 2.1.
Yeah,
Sure,
right.
but overall, I think that's right on the money.
Yeah, Covington area, parts of western Kentucky, far western Kentucky, 3 inches of snow in a few of those hot spots.
Yeah.
That you get those little bands that set up.
Yeah, but
That's a lot of snow.
again, you've got to be at the right place at the right time to get those.
You do. You do.
And across town, it can be different.
Right.
That's one of the difficulties. And you and I have talked about this with the snow forecast.
Yeah.
Even here in Lexington, maybe
Right.
the north side of town gets 4 inches, and here at the station we might get 2 inches.
Sure.
And of course people let you know about it.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, I've only got
Or
3.1.
it could be the opposite, as some people claim. We get 4 inches here, everybody else gets an inch.
Right. We've had that happen a few
Yeah, we have.
times. More than I care to share.
And we get accused of measuring it that way sometimes too, don't we?
By officials.
By officials. You're like, come on, people. But, for the first snow of the year, right out of the gate, that was a pretty good snow.
It really overachieved. I remember because I go to bed early,
Yeah.
so it hadn't even made a transition
Sure.
when I went to bed. And I remember thinking, this is looking pretty good. Just on radar, coming
Oh, yeah,
together. And I
yeah.
was like, this is going to be okay. And sure enough, that's what happened this morning.
So let's review how crazy the weather's been. September, driest month in recorded history,
Ever.
and one of the warmest Septembers ever. The first 3 days of October, the hottest 3 days of October in recorded history.
And the hottest day
Yeah, for October.
for October period.
Yeah, for period. For any October day, those were the three hottest.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then you fast forward, and here we are.
Yeah, and it rained in between. Second wettest October ever.
So we made up all of our,
We did.
the deficit.
We're above normal on the fall. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, here you go, an entire month.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if you could look at it more, a month and some change when you go back to
Oh, yeah.
August.
Right,
'cause,
right.
And then you go all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at us.
Yeah, above normal. We had snow flurries and snow showers on Halloween.
Encountered them myself trick-or-treating at night.
Right. You had your Snoopy hat on.
Well, I was bundled up, brother, because it was cold. Cool. There, I did it again.
You did the deep voice. Is that what you were doing trick-or-treating? Staying warm?
Scaring the kids.
Come here, Storm. Let Daddy talk in my deep voice. Now do you feel warmer, kid?
Did that work? No, it didn't work. But we literally had hand warmers out that night,
Did you?
and
Yeah.
had them, and I got lazy that night, and we've got a golf.
That night?
All right, every
That
night.
night? Come on.
But we've got a golf cart, and I had threw the windshield up, and we were bundled up in blankets because that worked out better.
Right.
And that's how we trick-or-treated the neighborhood in a golf cart.
That's cheating.
I know it was cheating, but
That's
it
cheating.
was
Come
cold.
on.
It was cold. Now, I don't have a heater on it yet.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Is that the next investment?
Well, the next investment is to get real doors, which is really expensive, so it may be a while.
You're going to get those side doors and that you're going to like weld them to, and you just slide in like the Duke boys.
Like the Dukes of Hazzard. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. Lindsay Travis is in here.
And she's highly entertained.
She's one of our
Highly entertained
executive producers, and she doesn't know what to make of this. I don't think she's ever listened. Have you ever listened?
Yeah, she's shaking her head.
She's
yes.
shaking her head.
I don't
yeah.
think she's listened to a whole one.
No, she
doesn't know what to expect
30
right now.
seconds in,
I'm like,
like,
come on, people.
All right, back to the historic weather. Sorry.
What you get with makeup Jim on TV, and then Jim behind a microphone with no camera. Totally different Jims, right?
Oh, are they ever?
And which is your favorite?
This one.
This one?
This one's totally my favorite.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Lindsay's just shaking her head. She didn't know what to think.
She's cool.
So let's keep going with the extremes. We hit November.
Yeah.
It's been frigid. I mean, the month to date has been way colder than normal. We had record snows yesterday. Daily records were broken all across the state, pretty much.
Yep.
Now we're going to likely break a record low temperature tonight.
There is a really
areas.
good chance.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to get into the upper teens around Lexington, right? Is it 17 or 18?
No, I think it's actually, tomorrow morning, I think it may be 14.
14?
14. Now, some other cities are into the upper teens. I think Lexington on the 13th is 14. Now, who knows with the airport thermometer, but with snow on the ground, clearing skies tonight, that temperature is going to plummet.
It has to.
And we've got a chance to pick up on the earliest single-digit temperatures ever recorded in the state of Kentucky.
That's incredible. And we will. If we don't get to it here, they
Some
certainly
areas will.
They
Yeah.
certainly will.
Guarantee some of those Mesonet sites hit 8-9 degrees tomorrow morning. The
You-
skies have to clear for that to happen.
Right.
Got to say that.
And, as we're recording this, the sun's trying to peek through.
Right here.
Trying to get
Yeah.
through the clouds. But we still have some time. But we could get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still snowing in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Those
Oh.
snow showers, flurries, northwest flow, Lake Michigan. This time of year, you'll get snow.
Which, we started
yeah.
talking about it last week. So
Yeah.
watch, there'll be a pipeline of moisture trying to set up
Yep.
if this flow comes just like this. And it did. And that's
Yeah.
where we are today.
You know what my favorite tweets are from a week ago?
What are they?
What? Well, station this, station Y, station X is saying that ain't going to happen. Okay, well, ask station X or station Y. I don't know. I don't watch them.
I don't watch them either.
Glad we found their viewer, though. I kid.
And you say this, and yesterday I was in the grocery store and ran in to get not bread and milk, of course not.
No,
But-
we're not boosting our stock.
But I ran in and I was in shorts, flip flops, and short sleeve shirt
Yeah.
because it was nice yesterday.
Right, 60s, yeah.
60s. But
That's
anyway,
that's a bad image, by the way.
it's awful. Then I hear people in the other aisle, they're like, and I know exactly what they're talking. They were saying,
Here we go.
They said, well, now KYT says this, and this guy says, well, that one says that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and I never spoke. Of course, I couldn't see them. I just heard them. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I know what they're talking about,
Right.
clearly.
Do you think about throwing some eggs across the aisle or something?
Well,
Take off running in your flip-flops?
No, of course. They'd have caught me in those flip-flops.
Yes, right.
They don't have much traction on the bottom. But you're right. We get that. And I overheard that yesterday. I'm like, man. I was like, yeah. This is as real as it gets, This
Yeah,
is
right.
Real,
They don't know you're there.
Right. They had no idea because, again, next aisle over, I'm like, but a lot of people were having that discussion, and it's good to be on the right side of that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. That's the nature of the business.
Right. And we've discussed that too.
Right.
Sometimes you are, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're not.
Gosh, you went deep voice again.
Because it's terrifying when you're not.
But the thing is, it's like, you talk about shooters in basketball, miss a shot, you don't stop shooting, right?
Nope.
Keep going.
You just keep right on playing until you make that shot.
Right.
And then everybody will remember, oh, did you see that game winner?
Right. That's it.
That's it. That's what people remember.
Right.
You're thinking, go back to the Harrison twins,
Yeah, exactly. That's all you remember, right?
And I don't even remember which one it was now.
I can't remember one shot Aaron Harrison missed, but I can remember all the shots he made.
No, right. That's right. Absolutely.
How about that?
No.
Right?
And two big shots,
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Anyway.
And when it counts is when you want to make the shot.
And
I mean, if you're forecasting 75, it hits 80, who cares? It's a sunny day. Nobody pays attention.
that's right. It's still a nice day. 75's great. 80's
Right.
okay, too. 80 might be a little warm. So you'd much rather have that 75.
You'd really be in flip-flops then. I mean, if you're in flip-flops at 65,
No. It's barefoot at that point. You just got to run.
were the cutoffs, were the shorts cutoffs? Be honest.
They're pretty high.
Did you have the jorts on?
I do have a pair of jorts, and I didn't know it wasn't cool to have jorts until Josh Harrelson was wearing them.
Yeah. Well, he made them cool again.
Well, apparently,
See?
but But
maybe that could be your thing now. I mean, you're the new jorts.
We're wearing shorts.
You're the new jorts.
I had camo on yesterday. They were camo shorts.
Listen, we're taking it a step further.
So you're getting the picture.
Jorts camo.
See, you see all of it together.
Anyway, with flip flops. I mean, listen, you got contrasting styles there. You know that, right? Flip flops, shorts, camo.
So they're not supposed to go together?
I mean, I don't know. You're kind of all over the place with that.
Well, just like the weather has been.
Right?
So, I'm just as confused as anybody else.
Yeah.
Did this snow fill your need for snow?
I think it's a good appetizer. It's a real good appetizer. I mean, for the combination of snow, the temperatures as cold as they are, and the wind chills as cold as those are, it's very difficult this time of year to get one of those to happen, let alone to get all three of them to happen at the same time. So this is pretty historic in my mind for this early in the season.
I mean, considering it's the 12th and 13th, that
right.
we're talking about this for November. What do you think, as we move forward, the rest of this week really looks...
not bad.
Seasonal chill.
Sure.
Not bad at all.
Seasonally
40s, 50, not bad at all. But what do you think about the rest of the month? Because there was some strong indication there. It looked like this month was going to get rocked with just cold air. And it has.
Yeah. What I think is I was just looking at some of the models and the pattern for the rest of the month. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in one heck of a storm at some point before the month is over. Whether or not it's rain or snow here, I don't know yet, but wouldn't surprise me if we don't have a monster of a mid or late November storm going up the Appalachian Mountains or up the East Coast.
And it could impact us.
And that's early to have something like that, too.
You're absolutely right. But during the month of November, it's still a transitional time.
It is.
Well, a lot of people forget. And we can still have 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon.
Yep.
But here's the thing. If you ever look at a little bar graph of severe weather, you get to peak in spring, and then, it goes down in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
Until you get to November. Then there's a little peak
spike.
again. Because during this month, we can get even traditional severe weather. So big storm systems like that can come.
Can do that. Yeah,
Yes.
if they cut to your west, you're in that severe weather potential. If they cut to your east, you're in the snow potential.
And that's something we have to watch very carefully. And when we first started approaching this system, and you and I were talking earlier, we started putting graphics on the air. When we put graphics on the air, we feel pretty good about it.
Sure, even a week away.
We started about, it was like a week out.
A week out.
And I said from last week, I feel 100% comfortable with the cold. Snow, we'll watch and tweak. And we did, but we posted. We were out there pushing that message. This might be your first event. And, here we are.
Lo and behold, you get your first snowfall, and it's a decent snowfall out of the gate.
It absolutely is.
Now, is this the last snowfall of November?
That's your question,
I'm
right?
going to say no. So I think we get another one before the month is over.
So that's your next bold prediction on this. Because, that's a few weeks ago when you said that.
That and $25 now will get you a cup of coffee. Because those coffees are not cheap anymore.
No, they're not.
They used to be that and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee.
But not anymore.
Not anymore.
So you do think that?
I do.
You think the setup's certainly favorable. And, of course, you're talking big storm system that could drive that,
right.
too.
I mean, it could be, some backlash, light snows that, stick a little bit here or there. Could be a little bigger system. So we'll see. And, it's happened before. I mean, we've had some big storms. The biggest storm, one of the biggest in history around here actually happened, the Great Appalachian Snowstorm of 1950. That was on Thanksgiving weekend, 1950. The coldest temperature ever recorded in Lexington for November is 3 below zero. That happened during that. Parts of eastern Kentucky had almost 2 to 3 feet of snow in what was basically a full-blown blizzard at the end of November.
That's incredible. It is. But, again, things like that can happen during this month.
Right. And what was funny? I believe in that November of 1950 was preceded by the hottest Halloween on record. I believe it was 80 or 81 degrees that Halloween, and then 3 weeks later you had a blizzard and -3.
Huh. Sounds very familiar.
It does, right? Yeah, it does. Maybe not to that extreme.
Right,
but
right.
Yeah, we're in the ballpark.
But you've got to, you want to talk about an extreme. Yesterday, mid-60s for some folks.
Yeah.
Pushing close to the upper.
Yep.
And then you get out there this afternoon, again on the 12th, and it's 40 degrees colder.
Sure.
I mean, that's incredible. I was looking at the 5-minute data from your least favorite temperature
God
thermometer,
bless it.
but still within 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Within 50 minutes, it dropped like 11 degrees.
Sure.
And it was having a hard time. All of the thermometers had a hard time keeping up because it was happening so quickly.
The speed of the drop.
Yeah, I mean, and they have trouble with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
Yeah.
what people don't realize. And then, man, we were getting hammered with that cold air.
And a lot of the numbers that we show on air on the temperature maps, well, they update once an hour.
For our maps,
And let me say this. In today's world, how on earth have they not fixed to where this thing can update more than once an hour?
I have no idea. I've
Right?
wondered that myself.
I mean, my personal weather station at home updates every 60 seconds.
Right.
I mean,
even if it stays the same, it updated. It got the data.
Right. So, I don't know how our weather provider, WSI and NOAA, haven't gotten together and say, well, let's push this data every minute or two.
Yeah,
Because it's you would think it would be simple.
Again, I'm no coding expert.
Yeah,
but
same here.
Same here. Well, I mean, you already send it out once an hour.
Right.
Why not change it to, three times, at least 3 times
Right.
an hour,
Maybe they don't want the Bluegrass Airport thermometer to be wrong 60 times. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
An hour.
It would be.
If it pushed every minute, it would be wrong a lot more.
It'd be awfully close. Yeah, it maybe 59 times.
I went off on a little tangent yesterday because it was 32 here, 32 at the Mesonet, and the farthest west thermometer in Fayette County is the airport thermometer.
And
it was 34.
Oh, really?
And that was on the 5-minute data.
On the
so
5-minute
it was not
data.
It was not keeping up. I mean, it's basically, I don't know if the calibration is off, but it's set. If the baseline should be 0 Celsius, I mean it's off by a degree or two, too warm. I mean it's like it doesn't. Its base is off. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the environment. It's just a bad thermometer. It's a bad setup. And I know the Weather Service is talking. I think they're trying to get it moved
to
maybe the
location.
Mesonet site.
Well, and that one runs closer to some of the others.
At least now they're recognizing it's wrong. They just can't figure out how to fix it.
Well, let's hope they do, because again, as we've said, that hurts long range data. That hurts the future.
And here's what I said yesterday. Here's where it in a situation like that where it comes into play, because that is the thermometer that feeds your weather apps. Every weather app you've got, and you're the closest to Lexington, you're going to pull it up. It's going to show that thermometer reading. So let's say this situation repeats itself, not after a day in the 60s. So you're a mom, you're driving around with the kiddos, or whatever. You're driving around, you check the weather app, it says 34 degrees, but it's snowing, and you think, well, there's no chance of the bridges are going to be icy. But that thermometer's off 2 degrees, and it's actually 31 or 32 degrees.
Then you're in a world of hurt.
And you did so because that thermometer was wrong.
And that's why
it's a public safety issue at this point.
That's why you stay on the cause and always bring it up, because of that right there.
I'm sick of talking about it. I know people are sick of hearing it, but I'm sick of talking about it. But at the same point, if it's going to save somebody's life in a setup like that, you know what? I'll talk about it till I'm blue in the face.
It's not about a 60-degree day that you're worried about. It's that right there on those days.
Yep, because, a few years ago we saw it. During we had a little mini ice storm. It was 31 or 32 degrees. The airport was 33 and 34, but it was reporting freezing rain. Well, that's impossible.
Well, it is impossible.
Because there are two different sensors out there. The thermometer, then the one that, shows ice accretion.
And
the ice accretion was working properly. The thermometer was not. So,
I was looking back on my memories on Facebook, by the way, 6 years ago, which was my first year here at KYT. I was
6 years already?
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
And I was out in the snow. We were covering a light snow. I was here during the morning hours. Yeah. And I was doing live shots and all that day. And I'd posted some pictures of the snow. It didn't stick a lot. Yeah. But it was just an early, cold
November
snow.
2013, right?
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's one of my analogs.
Ooh. For all of the 25 people that listen to this podcast, I sure hope it's more than that. I don't look at numbers like that, but tell them what an analog year means.
It just means years that I've looked at that in past years that have been similar to years that are currently in progress. And then I go back and I look at the local weather to see if it matches up. Then I'll look and see, like, okay, how are we across the northern hemisphere? Were we an El Nino year? How the ocean temperatures are faring? A whole different list of things. And I will then use those analog years and see how the rest of that fall or winter panned out and see if they all had something in common. And then I kind of use that as an indication of where this year may be going, if I can find a good match. Now, we found, in September, I found some really good matches for that hot, dry September. 3 of the top 5 matches that I came up with in September said there would be snow before the end of October.
Well, I mean, that's true. That happened.
Mm-hmm. 2 of those had measurable snowfall before Thanksgiving in November, too.
Well, here we are again.
So here we are.
So what's the rest of the trend saying for you?
Oh, you got to wait until next Thursday.
Is it next Thursday?
That's a tease, yeah.
Oh.
That's a tease, my man.
Now,
winter weather forecast next Thursday. I don't even know the exact date on that, but that'll be next Thursday, 6 o'clock. And we're trying to do a half-hour special. What is it? 21st.
It is 21st. There you go.
21st.
So a week before Thanksgiving.
Sure, yeah. And that's generally when I try to put it out. And I think we're going to try to do a little winter weather half-hour special on the CW at 6:30 after that. So.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope we get it together. Now we've advertised it. So
I say we're trying to. I'm still trying to get my boss to commit.
Oh,
I'm not going to call
Robert
him
Thomas?
out. No.
He doesn't have any commitment issues.
See,
no.
See, we're so late in this podcast, he'll never hear this part of it. He'll only listen to about the first 3 or 4 minutes.
But those diehards, they're going to hear it. We've talked about little hints or not bold predictions, but some stuff for your winter prediction.
Yeah.
This is the last one before the big one.
Yeah.
Give us one more good hint.
Years past have been skewed more toward the second half of winter. We've had snow, like the big snowstorms. They were late February and March.
Yep.
The 16 one was in middle and end of January. I think this year gets started out of the gate fairly quickly. I mean, it already has, but that it's easy to say at this point. But I'm talking about in December. So
you think it'll be potential to be a rough December?
I do. I think winter weather lovers can have a little fun before Christmas and maybe even for Christmas.
So are you saying it's not backloaded?
Gosh, you're trying to make me just give it all away, aren't you? I do. How about this? I think it can take a little halftime in there. I'm not going to say it's front loaded or back loaded necessarily, but I think it gets started out of the gate very quickly.
All right. I mean, that's fair enough. Lindsay, fair enough. Yeah, she's shaking her head yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think she's ready for us to wrap this thing up.
She's ready for us to she's watching it on the timer. And we're right around our normal time, which is 20-some minutes. But
we're windy people.
But I'm told
yes,
that
you're told.
We need to go at least 2 hours with these.
No,
that's fine.
Who told you that?
No, well, I did.
You want as much airtime as you can get.
Whatever we can get, because there's an audience for this, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't check numbers because I don't have to feed my ego.
Wait. Not at all. His ego is...
Oh, it's fine.
Fine.
Trust me. It's the greatest ego in the world.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect ego.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I hate you.
I know you do, but that's what makes it fun. As always. What?
I was just going to say. So what are we going to talk about next time? Do you know?
Next time will be Winter Weather Week.
So we will fully discuss the winter weather forecast.
Yeah, and we will, and I think Robert wanted to turn this into a podcast, the winter weather show into a podcast as well. So for people that miss it, maybe we can do that.
Okay, that'll be good fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and then we'll talk about it in a conversation form like this.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe we should take a couple of social media questions next time and answer them in our podcast.
Right. We keep saying that, and I keep forgetting to I don't even know where my phone is.
Because your ego will not allow you to post anything about it. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. Do you have my phone, Lindsay? Oh, that's your phone. You're gonna have to call me in a minute.
Jim has lost his phone. It's probably in your jorts. You probably left your phone in your jorts. Are you pinging your phone?
I'm pinging my phone, but it's over there somewhere. All right, so I know where it is now.
People, do you get a little sense now of what we have to put up with here?
Well, in my mind.
Do you realize what we have to go through here?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's fun.
It is fun.
We do have fun. I wish people could see more of this.
But there's not enough opportunity.
Because behind the scenes, we're actually really pretty funny. Although Lindsay's over here going,
We're hilarious. We're hilarious. And congratulations, Lindsay, by the way. I congratulate her all the time. It's
You just
a running joke.
Congratulations out there.
I hadn't seen her in months after she got a promotion.
Yeah,
and I congratulated her, and she's like, "Oh, that was months ago."
Oh, what's funny is I gave her my condolences now that she's seen you.
All right. Well, we'll leave her alone. We'll leave her alone. Winter weather forecast coming up next time.
Folks, we appreciate you being with us. Y'all take care. See ya.